Your body is already responding to a pill you never swallowed. Right now, as you sit here, the same biology that heals a wound while you sleep is waiting for a single instruction from your mind. You've been told belief is abstract, something that floats above the body like a wish. By the end of this, you'll understand that belief is the most concrete pharmaceutical you've ever had access to. Think about what happens when a doctor hands someone a sugar pill and tells them it's a painkiller. The patient swallows it. Within minutes, their body begins producing its own analgesic compounds. The pain decreases, their muscles relax, their breathing slows, and the tablet sitting in their stomach contains nothing. 0 active ingredients. The body did all of it, triggered by one thing: the patient's assumption that relief was coming. This has been documented thousands of times across decades of clinical research. Patients given saline injections for Parkinson's disease showed measurable increases in dopamine production. People told they were receiving chemotherapy experienced hair loss when the IV bag contained only salt water. Volunteers given fake knee surgery, where a surgeon made incisions but repaired nothing, reported the same recovery outcomes as those who had actual operations. The body rebuilt itself around a story it was told. So what exactly is doing the healing? The sugar has no medicinal property. The saline carries no drug. The answer your doctor would give you is that expectation drives physiological change. And that's accurate, but it barely scratches the surface of what's happening. When you expect something to be true, your entire internal chemistry reorganizes around that expectation. Your endocrine system shifts. Your immune markers change. Your gene expression, the actual activity of your DNA, responds. A study at Harvard had hotel housekeepers told that their daily work already qualified as the exercise recommended by health guidelines. They changed nothing about their routine. 4 weeks later, their blood pressure dropped, their body fat decreased, and their body mass index shifted. The only variable was information, a reframe. Now hold that finding next to something Neville Goddard taught in the 1950s. He said that assumption, sustained long enough, hardens into fact. He described the internal act of living as though your desired reality were already true, feeling it in the body, breathing it, walking through your day inside it. He called this the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and he insisted that this inner state would rearrange outer circumstances to match. For decades, the spiritual community and the scientific community have treated these as separate conversations. One talks about consciousness, the other talks about controlled trials. But they're describing the same mechanism from opposite ends of the telescope. The placebo effect proves that the body cannot distinguish between a chemically induced state and a state produced purely by belief. Your cells respond to the signal regardless of its source. Whether a molecule delivers the message or your own sustained assumption delivers it, the downstream biology is identical. This is measurable, repeatable, published in peer-reviewed journals, and it quietly confirms what every serious practitioner of conscious manifestation has experienced firsthand. You felt this even if you didn't have language for it. You've walked into a job interview already knowing you weren't going to get the offer. Your shoulders were tighter, your voice thinner. Your answers came out rehearsed instead of natural. The assumption of rejection shaped your body before a single question was asked. And the interviewer responded to what your body was broadcasting, which confirmed the very outcome you'd already decided was inevitable. That loop? Assumption shaping physiology, physiology shaping behavior, behavior shaping outcome, runs constantly, every minute of every day. The question has never been whether this mechanism exists. The question is whether you're running it deliberately or letting it run on autopilot. Most people are living inside assumptions they inherited. From parents, from early experiences, from cultural scripts about what's realistic and what's foolish to hope for. These assumptions feel like facts because the body has been marinating in them for years. They've hardened. Goddard's word choice was precise. Assumptions harden into fact. The longer you hold one, the more your biology solidifies around it, and the more evidence your external world produces to match. So how do you intervene in a system this deeply embedded? The same way a placebo works. You introduce a new signal with enough conviction that the body treats it as real. This is where most people stumble. They try to think positive thoughts on top of a body that's still vibrating with the old assumption. They affirm abundance while their stomach clenches around scarcity. The mind says one thing, the body says another. And the body always wins because the body is where belief actually lives. A thought you hold only in your intellect is an opinion. A thought your body has absorbed is a state. States manifest. Opinions don't. Goddard described a specific practice for this. Before sleep, when the conscious mind quiets and the subconscious becomes most receptive, you construct a short scene that implies your desire is already fulfilled. You loop it. You feel your way into it. The texture of the handshake, the warmth of the moment, the specific sensory detail that makes it real to your body. You stay inside that scene until you drift to sleep, carrying it. What's happening in that practice, from a biological standpoint, mirrors exactly what happens in a clinical placebo trial. The body receives a signal, the signal carries conviction, the body reorganizes, hormonal patterns shift during sleep, immune function recalibrates, the internal environment changes first. Then behavior follows, subtly, without conscious effort. You start making different choices. You notice opportunities you would have filtered out before. People respond to you differently because you're carrying a different signal in your posture, your voice, your eyes. A skeptic might push back here and say the placebo effect has limits. Fair. Nobody has regrown a severed limb with belief. But the documented range of what placebo achieves is far wider than most people realize. Pain management, immune response, hormonal regulation, cardiovascular markers, even tumor reduction in certain case studies. The boundary of what belief can shift in the body keeps expanding with every new trial, and nobody has yet identified a hard ceiling. The deeper issue the skeptic misses is this: manifestation through sustained assumption works through far more channels than direct biological change. Your state alters your perception alters your decisions alter your trajectory. A person who walks through the world assuming they belong in rooms of influence will over months and years find themselves in those rooms. The path won't look like magic from the outside. It'll look like a series of reasonable choices. But the origin of those choices was an internal state that was chosen first. This is the discipline most people underestimate. Holding a new assumption when your current reality contradicts it every single day requires genuine inner work. Your reflection in the mirror hasn't changed yet. Your bank account hasn't shifted yet. The person you want to hear from hasn't called yet. And in that gap between the inner state and the outer evidence, everything in you screams to abandon the new assumption and return to the old one. That gap is the entire practice. The placebo patient doesn't peek inside the capsule. They swallow it whole. They trust. And their trust isn't passive. It's a biochemical event. Every moment of genuine trust releases a cascade of chemical signals that begin restructuring the body from the inside out. Your work is the same. When you enter the state of the wish fulfilled, you're swallowing a capsule you built yourself. The contents are conviction, sensory detail, and emotional reality. The dosage is consistency, night after night, returning to that scene, refusing to open the capsule and check whether it's working, because checking is doubt. And doubt is its own placebo, running the mechanism in reverse. Every time you spiral into, "Is it happening yet?" your body receives a clear signal, "It hasn't happened." And it reorganizes around that signal with the same obedient precision it would use for the positive one. This is why Goddard emphasized Sabbath, the rest after the inner work. You do the session. You feel it completely. Then you release. You go about your day carrying the quiet knowing of someone who has already received the thing. That knowing, sustained across days and weeks, becomes the most powerful prescription your body has ever filled. The researchers call it expectation. The mystics call it a direct order. The language changes, the mechanism holds steady across every framework that has ever investigated it. You already know how to do this. You've been doing it your entire life, mostly in the wrong direction. Every catastrophe you rehearsed in your mind before bed, every worst-case scenario you played on repeat until your chest tightened and your sleep fractured, that was a manifestation session, an effective one. You gave your body a vivid scene loaded with sensory detail and emotional charge, and your body responded exactly the way it was designed to respond. It believed you. The only shift required is aim, same mechanism, same biology, same obedient system waiting for instruction. Point it somewhere worth going. Build the scene. Feel it until your hands warm with it. Then sleep. Let the body do what it has always done with a clear, convicted signal. The pharmacy was never outside you. The prescription pad has been in your hands since the day you were born, and every night before you close your eyes is another chance to fill it.